Hello everybody. In this video I want to show you a pretty interesting technique that kind of came about because I was joking around with some colleagues at work, and one of them suggested, well, can't we pack our pipelines inside of an FBX file? And you might be able to do that with an FBX, but you can definitely do it with a USD. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pack a Python script inside of a script attribute inside of a USD file. So we're going to write a little Python script that's going to create that specific USD cube for us, but you could use any USD authoring software you like. And then we're going to write a secondary Python script that's going to access that USD file, reach inside, find that script attribute, pull it out, and then execute that Python code as a sub-process. You might be asking, well, why would you bother doing that? And it's a great question. It's a pretty unusual approach to, sort of pipeline structure. I don't have a specific reason why you would need it right now, but you could definitely imagine how flexible it would be. Traditionally, pipeline infrastructure is you build the pipeline and then you shoehorn your data into that, which creates, it's a very rigid structure and there's value in that. But, if you have a very technically competent team, this could be much more flexible where you are writing into the files or each project exactly how you need it processed, and then sending that off to sort of maybe an API endpoint that's doing the accessing the script attributes and executing them on a farm. So anyway, here's the approach, and if you find or if you end up using something like this, drop me a note in the comments because yeah, it's a pretty cool idea. Okay, so let's get into it. First things first here, we are going to install the USD Python module. So I think that is pip install usd-core. Okay, great. I already have it installed, but yeah, there you go. Okay. Okay, now we're going to build a Python script that's going to create our USD cube. So let's do from pxr. This is the USD Pixar module. We're going to import USD. We're going to need USD geometry, so we'll get the geom, and we're going to get SDF as well to handle some of the variables. So in this script, we're going to create a new USD stage that's going to hold our cube. We're going to define a cube. We're going to set the cube size. Okay. And we're going to create our custom Python attribute. And we're going to print out the Python script. And then we're going to save our file. Our stage even. Okay. So let's do this. For the stage, we're going to set our output path. Okay, and I'm just going to do this, and I'll save it here. And we'll just call it mesh cube.usda. Okay, so that's that, and now we'll get our USD stage. So this will be usd dot stage dot create new, and we'll stick that to the output path. Okay. Now we're going to define inside that cube. We're going to define, or inside that stage, we'll define our cube. So cube, this will be USD geom.cube define, and we'll pass in our stage, of course, and the name for our cube. So we'll just call it mesh cube. Sure. Okay. And we'll set a size for the cube. You don't really have to do this, but just this is what I like to do. And just this. Okay. And we'll set that to 2 meters. Oops. And right. So we've got our cube. It's got a size. Now you could normally, if you were to use this in a pipeline, you'd probably be setting a standard object in each scene. Like it might be cube.python or cube python pipeline, and that would be an asset added to every scene that carries the Python code. And so that your API endpoint could always be picking up that consistent object in every scene. So that'd probably be the approach I would take. Okay, so here's our script attribute. And we're going to create this. So we'll get our cube, we'll get the prim, and we're going to create an attribute on it. And that's going to be, we'll call that Python script. And it's going to be, this is where we use SDF to define a value type names, and it's going to be a string. Okay. And then we're creating the attribute there, and now let's populate it. Let's set that. So we'll take our script attribute and just dot set. And this is going to be like literally the text of the Python script. So what's our script going to be? Well, we're just going to pass it a simple mathematical function that we can calculate in our pickup script. So let's just write doing math in subprocess. Okay. And so then we'll have result equals 500 times 100. Sure. And then on a new line, we'll print result. And that's it. This is obviously incredibly simple, but this is just shows you that you can calculate the results of this Python code in the pickup script. So that's going to be our script attribute. Let's print that out while we create the file. So script attribute get. Okay. And so that, and then let's save our stage. So stage get root layer. That's it. Okay. And let's just print out where we saved it. Save it to. Right. Okay. So that's it. That's the first script. And okay, so that's our cube created. And now we need another Python script that's going to access that attribute and execute the code. So this will be our USD read script. Okay, and so what do we need from that? So PXR, we're going to import USD. Okay, I don't think we need geom. So we'll take that. Let's import sys. Let's import OS. And we're going to need a subprocess. Okay. So what do we need to do here? Well, we need to define our function. Whatever. We'll just define run script from attribute, and it's going to take in a USD file. Okay, and then what's this function going to do? Well, it's going to open the file. It's going to get the cube object. It's going to get the script attribute. We're going to write the script attribute to a temporary file. To a temp file. We're going to run the script, the temp file, as a subprocess. And then we're going to delete the temp file. Okay. So let's get into this. Open the USD file. So we're going to get a stage, stage open, and we're going to get that from our USD file. Okay. We're going to get the cube. So our cube is equal to stage dot get param at path, and we called ours was mesh cube. So okay, we're going to get on the cube. We're going to find the script attribute. Script attribute. And okay, and that's going to be cube dot get attribute, and we called it, what did we call it? We called it Python script. Okay, and so get attribute here, Python script. Okay, so that's, now we're getting a hold of the script. Okay, and we're going to write the script to a temp file. So temp script path equals os dot path dot join, and let's do os dot path dot dir name, and we'll say we're going to write it to the directory that the USD file is in. Okay, and we're just going to call that file temp script.py. Okay, so here we're setting the temp script path to the path that the USD file is in, and then we're just calling it temp script. Okay, so we've set that path, and now we need to open that file and write into it. So open, we're going to temp script path, okay, and we intend to write into it, so we'll set W here, and then as temp script file, okay, as temp script file, temp script, oops, file dot write, and then we'll pass in the string. Oh, and actually, sorry, we don't have the script string yet. So we actually, after we get the attribute here, we have to create a string from it. So this will be get the script as a string. Okay, and so all we're doing here is we're taking the contents of the script and converting it to a string. Script string. Sure. So script attribute dot get. Cool. There we go. So that's our temp file with our Python code in it now that we've pulled out of the cube inside the USD stage. Okay, so now let's get a subprocess. Let's get a subprocess, run, and then we're going to pass in that script. So here we're going to do run. Oh, we did run. We're going to do sys.executable and temp script path. Okay. And so once that's done, we'll do os.remove temp script path. Great. So this is our whole, this is all we need to do in order to access that. It's a very simple function. We find the stage in the USD file. We find the cube in the USD stage. We find the script in the USD cube. We get a hold of the script contents as a string. We dump all of that into a temp file. We run the temp file, and then we delete the temp file. Okay, so all in all, it's a very straightforward Python script. So okay, so then all we have to do here is name equals main. And we'll set the USD file path, and I'll just do pass in a raw here. Projects, USD research, and again we called it mesh cube dot USDA. Okay, so we'll get that, and then we'll run the script. So we'll run the function. And right. And so yeah, okay, so this is everything we need to do. So okay, so now that we have everything scripted up here, let's go ahead and run it. So first things first, we'll save these two files, and I'm just gonna check. Yes, mesh. Wait, where are we? Create mesh cube. Okay, cool. So these are in the right folder. We're in the right folder. So we're just gonna call Python create USD script. Great. There we go. Okay, and it's printing out doing math in a subprocess result. So this is what will eventually be run in a subprocess. Here we're just printing out the string, so that's why it's not calculated and why it says print result. And then this is the location of the USD that we're going to be accessing. Okay, so now we can call our USD read script. So that's also in here already. Okay, so Python USD read script, syntax error, doing math in the sub process. It doesn't like that. It doesn't like that because it's not Python code. So whatever, we'll just blow it away. You could wrap that in another print statement, but yeah, that's fine. Okay, yeah, or you could comment it out, but it's literally trying to execute that as code, which is not valid Python code. So yeah, you would have to wrap that in a print statement. So oops. So let's try this again. Python create. There we go. This is it again without that missing just line of text. Okay, and then we will do our USD read script again on the updated, with the updated Python script attribute. And there, now you can see it's printing that result out. And that's it. So I hope that gives you some ideas about how you can encode scripts directly into a USD file that sort of an API endpoint or a piece of a pipeline could pick up and read and make very flexible pipelines that you don't need to set up in advance and then make sure your data fits into. This is a very flexible approach where you can kind of, again, you would need very technically sound people that knew Python and knew how the pipelines were going to run in order to make something like this worthwhile. But a unique approach to procedural pipeline construction. If you have any questions or if you come up with any cool ideas or use cases for something like this, let me know in the comments. Thanks a lot. Bye.